Hello and welcome to Undercurrent. I'm your host, Elise Van Aken. Last weekend I had the opportunity to attend the WA Media Awards. The Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance hold these awards to promote quality journalism and reward media professionals whose coverage best entertains and informs West Australian audiences. Let's take a look at the event. Good evening, Elise Van Aken here at the West Australian Media Awards, where tonight the best of the best in print, online and broadcast journalism are being recognised for their achievements and contributions to the industry.
Same names come up every year at the Media Awards, but you also see some new ones, and it's fantastic for everybody to come together and celebrate.
There's no other job like it, so it's nice to be awarded when you do a really good job, and we've got some great finalists here this year, so good luck to everybody.
My name's Emma Young. I'm from WA Today, and I'm nominated in the Health Award and the Environment Award, and we're also up for Best Online for our coverage of the Yalu bushfires. For the Health Award, I was a finalist for my work on the Ocean Kisco cancer story. The environment story, I'm up there for a community group's efforts to overcome some governmental efforts to build a caravan park on some endangered vegetation in Lancelin.
And what can you tell me about the talent at the awards tonight?
Well, basically everybody who's in media in WA is here, so it's really nice to see everyone here. We don't get a lot of chances to let our hair down and get away from the computer and everything, so the divisions between us are very few, and what unites us is bigger than what divides us, and so it's really nice that we have events like this to just have a chance to bond and remember what's good about journalism and why it's important.
So I'm here with Martin Turner. Martin, can you tell me about your involvement with the event?
Well, I'm president of the WA Media section of the Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance, so our responsibility as a committee is to administer these awards, the judging process, the event itself. So that's a process that starts months and months ago and comes to fruition tonight, so it's very exciting to be here finally.
And what do you think of the talent here tonight?
It's great. Hearing this buzz, that just makes everything worthwhile, because just by the sound of what's going on in the room, obviously when a whole lot of journalists get together, there's a lot of noise, but there's a particular buzz when an event's working, so I think it's going to be a great night.
So Patrick, can you tell me about your involvement with the event tonight?
Yes, Media Super has been a supporter of the WA Media Awards for decades now, because Media Super is the industry superannuation fund for the creative arts, and journalism plays a big part in the creative arts, so well over 2 decades.
And what do you think about the talent that we have here tonight?
We have exceptional talent. It is astounding how the quality of the photography, the journalism that we see on show here tonight is as good as anywhere in Australia, indeed anywhere in the world.
And so your involvement with the media industry must show you some room for improvement.
The room for improvement, what I actually see is people are being innovative around the fact that they're losing jobs, but then they're recreating and reinventing themselves. And that is an exciting thing to witness. I've got a friend sitting on my table. She's been 117 days without a job, but now she's got a job and she's loving it, So it's what I'm watching the industry evolve, which is a very exciting thing.
Congratulations, Andrew. Can you tell us about the work that won you the award tonight?
Well, it was a series of stories about the Medicare privatisation. It was a story that was originally in February and became it was a big story at the time. It became even bigger during the federal election campaign. I didn't quite know that it would be as big as it was in the election campaign, and it was used remorselessly by the federal opposition, and it became a real problem for Malcolm Turnbull.
And how does it feel to be recognised by this award?
Oh, it's a wonderful honour. Western Australia is always one where it's trying to get into the space of the federal sphere, and so it's wonderful for the West Australian Journo to have this accolade, but also break a yarn that's clearly got some broader ramifications.
Can you tell us a bit more about your Mediscare report?
Well, in fact, Mediscare was a term that was coined by the editor, Brett McCarthy. It was a brilliant headline. Very rarely do headlines become an actual meme. And in the political argument of the 2016 federal election campaign, Mediscare, which was invented by Brett McCarthy on the front page of the West Australian, is known by almost every single Australian because of the West Australian.
Good evening, everybody, and of course I'd like to extend my welcome to the 2016 West Australian Media Awards, and it is an absolute privilege to be here this evening representing the Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance. It's often been labelled a small world, the Australian media industry, and sadly that statement does ring a little more true than it has before. In the last 12 months we've witnessed our numbers decline yet again, and the important business of journalism has been put under further strain, with valued colleagues departing the industry as media companies battle fragmenting audiences and falling ad revenues. Media members across the country, though, have fought tirelessly for every newsroom job, because as journalists we know all too well that the frenetic daily race to get the news to our audiences, the often grinding reality of the news gathering business, takes a toll. And it is only by having well-resourced newsrooms, by having boots on the ground, that we ensure that the work gets done, that the stories of local communities are heard, and that the truth is told. And of course, if that wasn't enough of a challenge, journalists continue to face prosecution and jail time for doing their job. This year, a federal election year, journalists have been under incredible scrutiny. It's just gone past the 12-month mark since national data retention laws were passed with bipartisan support in our parliament. And we've already seen government agencies exercise the powers granted to them under that legislation to secretly investigate and monitor journalists' metadata in an effort to identify the sources of their stories. It's difficult to conceive then exactly how the Australian public will get the full story on key issues like border security and the asylum seeker debate if journalists and their sources are being gagged and threatened with criminal prosecution. These regressive laws threaten to choke press freedom in Australia, gag whistleblowers and punish the journalists seeking to bring the truth to light. And it's clear that the public does want to know and wants to know the full story. Of course, last year we had the Tasmanian Attorney General attempt to change that state's laws to allow corporations to sue for defamation. That all fell by the wayside, though, after it proved to be deeply unpopular with the electorate and deemed downright dangerous for those defending the public's right to know. The work that journalists do, the work that you do every day, revealing vital news stories, scrutinising the powerful, giving a voice to the voiceless, telling our community stories, be they big or small, this is important work. And that's why MIA members have and will continue to fight so hard for genuine press freedom in Australia, all the while striving to ensure that we can continue to deliver the kind of quality journalism that our audiences deserve. In early 2016, MIA members began to campaign to modernise the working conditions that underpin our industry, with a particular focus on extending the hard-won conditions currently protecting those in established media to our colleagues working in online-only publications. Just because you work for a digital outlet rather than one that still publishes in ink or sends out the news via the airwaves doesn't mean you should miss out on basic conditions like shift allowances, overtime pay or public holidays. Simply said, MIA is your community. MIA is your advocate. So again, on behalf of MIA, I would like to congratulate all of those producing the fine work that's on display here tonight, and I wish you all the very best of luck in your future endeavours, and I look forward to campaigning for good jobs and press freedom with you all over the coming 12 months. Thank you.
And now it's time for everyone to let their hair down and celebrate the hardworking and inspiring people of the West Australian media. I'm Elise Van Aken for West TV. More than 40 life-size fiberglass cows are on show here in the Perth CBD. The Cow Parade was created by all Australian artists and designers and is on show until December 14th. Bas Tadros went to find out what citygoers think of the unusual exhibition.
The world's biggest public art event has arrived in Perth. I'm here in the city of Perth talking to some of the people that are gathered around this particular cow that's part of 40 cows that are making up a cow parade that have been put up by artists from all over WA in different iconic areas and in different locations that people can go and have a look at. The cause is a great cause because at the end of the 6 weeks for this cow parade, these cows will actually be auctioned off at the telethon where they'll be raising money for children health research. So I'll be asking some of the people what their thoughts are on this exhibition.
I think they're cute.
I really like the flashing lights and I think they look really nice at night time.
Oh, they're lovely. I think they're really interesting, yeah. Very eye-catching.
I think it's fantastic. I love cows, so it's wonderful to see them all over the city. They're beautiful.
I like to see different arts around, so putting them up around Perth, yeah, it's a good idea.
If it brings in the tourists and it gives them something different to look at, yeah, I think it's great.
Well, I think it's really nice because you're incorporating art and at the same time a purpose.
I'm a local city goer, so to and from my travels I see all these cows everywhere, so it's quite interesting.
Couple of there's some up front, like near the train station, but I don't really know what it's about.
Yeah, we've checked out a few down at Victoria Quay and in Adelaide Plaza.
We've just seen a couple down by, what was it, Elizabeth Quay.
I found them in London Court, NX 100, the train station, Brookside, and the other one was in Hay Street Mall, but he's still in wraps. He's got a wrap around him still.
Yeah, the trans-dimensional cow's probably my favourite, but the fairy cows.
I love the fairy cow.
Well, I'm from Margaret River, so we had a similar thing with heaps of the cows like that, and everyone painted them, and yeah, it was really cool.
Are you aware that it's done by local artists?
Oh, well, that's how it was done in Margaret River, so I wasn't aware of that for this one.
Being an artist, student photographer myself, I would love to see more of this stuff around.
Are you looking forward to maybe getting the map and following the trail?
I didn't know there's a map actually. Yeah, I'll get onto it right now after this one.
No, not yet, but it's on our agenda.
I'm free, so I've got nothing going on, so yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. I've found about 7 so far, so yeah, sometime between now and December I'll find a lot, I hope.
It's something that I think would be worth to have a look at for sure, yeah.
Definitely pick up the map and follow the trail.
Definitely, yeah. Oh, we've come at the right time, haven't we? Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Should we have more of this kind of displays around Perth?
Definitely, absolutely. I think Perth would do wonderful with these extra things around for people to talk about, and it'd be brilliant. It would bring people out, it would bring people into the city.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see all the different things that Perth comes up with and all the creative artistic flair that they can add to stuff.
I feel like Perth should do more events like this, and then just and more stuff that might grab the youth as well.
Yeah, I think the Perth City needs to see a lot more of this stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Like the arts is just what makes this city so beautiful,
Get down here to the city of Perth and get a map of the Cow Parade and follow the track. Bas Tadros for Undercurrent.
Don't go away, we have more stories after the break. Welcome back. West Australian rock and roll artist Dave Warner celebrated the 40th anniversary of his career by performing in North Perth. Bob Gordon went to visit the suburban boy to find out how he has changed since the 70s.
Here we are at the Charles Hotel in North Perth to witness a special 40th anniversary performance by one and only WA legend Dave Warner. Dave, here we are at the Charles Hotel. What's it like returning to Perth to play these sort of shows?
Well, it's fantastic to do any show, and the Charles is great because it was that original, I think it was part of that huge boom from the 70s and 80s and early 90s, I guess.
I wake up every morning with no one beside me. I wake up every morning, my mother will chide me. I'm just a suburban boy, just a suburban boy.
It's the people that liked the music before and have been supportive of me for years and years, and they still come along and still dig the songs, and I get a chance tonight for the first time in 30 odd years. I've got a chance to kind of present a whole lot of new songs and some old ones redone too.
Heathrow Airport smells like a Madras curry. They stamp my passport 3 months and my second in some kind of hurry. Johnny Rotten didn't die, he lingers in the public eye.
After all these years, Em, do you still consider yourself just a suburban boy?
It's a challenging question, and one I think you can only answer after investigation. So I try and self-examine through the songs. A whole lot of me is still exactly the same as it was then, but then there's other things that we forget about ourselves that change and mutate, and we blend into the environment as it changes around us.
Beside me, I wake up every morning, my mother will chide me. I'm just a suburban boy, just a suburban boy.
What I think was really interesting about Perth in those times was that it was incredibly homogenous. Like, you all grew up with a Laminex table that you ate your breakfast on. Most people had black and white TVs until the 70s, and a few people got it. You had this incredibly homogenous experience, and it was great for me when I was writing and doing songs there, because if I did Suburban Boy or Mugs Game, 95% of the population instantly understood what I was talking about.
I'm on Facebook, but where's my friends?
Last week you released a new From the Suburbs single on Facebook, but Where Are My Friends? What's it been like to go back into that headspace or that creative space again, given that there's also an album coming up with that as well?
It had been a while since I'd actually sat down and wrote, and eventually I said, I've got to put aside like 3 months, sit down and write these songs and complete them. And one of the ideas that I had, the first idea of the songs that I was doing was I'm on Facebook, but where's my friends? And that got me then thinking about the whole thing of my own journey in life and where I am now, and so out of that evolved a bunch of songs, and I decided to redo a couple of old songs, and the old idea came up that was When.
My name is Joey Black. My name is Joey Black. I'm a lonely sailor, just like any Albert Finney.
It was a title that worked for me because it unified conceptually these different lines of thought that I had, and When in this case is all about time and about the space that we are in time, and when I like is a completely ambiguous word. If I say, when we go on stage tonight, we'll do this, there's an expectation we're talking about something. If I said, when we did Supreme Court Gardens in 1979, and I think all of us are these little floating bubbles in space that are constantly influenced and buffeted by the past, the present, and potential future.
You've recently been named as a West Australian Living Treasure. Well, how does it make you feel in general?
40 years and it's gone like that, and it's only appropriate that I should be back doing some new material, just as it was new material then.
So much of my stuff is Western Australian based. Always tried to push the barrow of WA arts as being its own thing. It's and popular arts and entertainment, and it was nice to get some recognition for that.
I'm Bob Gordon for Undercurrent.
The ABC are hosting an exciting Indigenous art exhibition over the weekend, and it is open to the public. Here is Jonathan Davidson to tell you more.
At least 20 different artists from the Kimberley are having their works displayed in the upcoming week at the ABC Studios East Perth building for the Narangani exhibition. Also to watch out for, the upcoming open house this Saturday, where you can expect to meet a lot of local personalities.
Hi, I'm Sarah Knight. I'm the local manager for ABC Perth. And we've been here 10 years, and now we're sharing the building with Screen West and West TV and SBS and Prime IT. It's great to have so many new people in the building.
There's the upcoming Narangani exhibition, which is going to kind of be an intro for the building, I think, to let people come in and see how the ABC works. What significance does that have for the ABC?
So what happened was I went to visit the Department of Aboriginal Affairs, and I saw their artworks on the walls. They have the most stunning collection. So I said to them, is there any chance you could do an exhibition with some of your artworks at the ABC, because we had all these blank walls? And they said yes. So this is the result. We've got a collection of about 15 to 20 artworks and artefacts, and they tell the story of country dreaming. That the ABC, of course, goes to every corner of Australia, including the Kimberley, and we like to tell stories. That's exactly the same as this artwork.
There's an open house this Saturday as well. Can we expect to see any prominent personalities at all?
Oh yeah, we've got everyone coming down, from the ABC at least, and I know West TV will be here as well. So we've got from 7:20 ABC Perth, Jane Marwick, Peter Bell will be here, Gillian O'Shaughnessy. If you've ever heard Afternoons, you will have met the Slim but Savage one, he'll be along as well. And from the television news side, we've got Rebecca Dollery, our weather presenter, we've got Brianna Shepherd, Clint Thomas will be here, and there's one more, Pamela Medlin. How could I forget her, our weekend newsreader? Lots of personalities to come and meet, and we'll take you around the building and show you some of the nooks and crannies that you don't always see.
Are you looking forward to sharing a building with Screen West and West TV?
Yes, because since we've lost television in this branch, it's been a bit lonely here. We like to have lots of people coming and going, and it's great, actually.
Screen West are celebrating it as a creative hub. I mean, do you think there's a possibility for more local content in the future?
I hope so. I hope that's what it leads to. I think, having different ideas, different perspectives coming in can only make things better.
So what's the general future for the ABC in WA in the next 10 years?
Well, I think we've got a very positive future. I think what people are looking for are local stories told by locals, and that's what the ABC can do, because we've got 6 stations around the country, around the state I should say, plus 2 outposts, and of course ABC here in Perth, and we're all about getting out into the community and telling those stories. Really hope that people come down and take the opportunity to have a look at this fabulous facility that we have here in Perth. You own the ABC, so come and have a look at what you've got. It's a fantastic building, and we're really happy to share it.
Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Okay, no worries.
I'm Jonathan Davidson, and this is Undercurrent.
That's all we have time for this episode. Thank you for watching Undercurrent. If you missed the coverage of the WA Media Awards, you can watch it tonight at 8:30 on West TV. See you next time. Take care.